Bonjour. Let's just zoom in a little bit. How's that? That might be a little bit too much. I reckon about there. How's that look, everyone? Ah. Here we go. Not sure what my main computer's doing. It's strange. Yeah. So everything's straightened out a bit. I think that's working. Yeah. It's just a little bit of time lag between what I'm saying and what's going on. Levy old job. Okay, guys. Welcome back. Indeed, we are carrying on last night's live paint along, which was these guys, the Roman deserters. And I've done a little bit more painting last night after we stopped. Sorry, not last night, this morning. Okay, so I've moved them on a little bit now. So start to get the shields ready. So I will crack on, and as I'll keep the natter going, and if as people jump on with questions, I will try to answer them. Okay, so let's work through these guys. So we have the dog in situ tonight, so any weird sounds, reacquainting himself with his bone. Oh, he's found a squeaky toy. Uh-oh. I have to go and take that away. I didn't know that was up here, unfortunately. He's found something else to do. Yeah. So we're trying to get it's a bit more general. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go and take the squeaky toy away, give him a chew. Hang on. Good boy. I'll swap you that. Nice chew. Look at that. Sorry guys, he's now going bananas with a chew, so but he'll settle down to chewing it in a minute. Which is better than the squeaky squeaky. Which have made it quite tricky. Right. Yeah, so as you see, I've got to move some of these guys along. So we get the basic painting done. And we get onto the shields. I've got some little big man transfers. I dug out the drawer. Of course, I use them as painting guides. Also, I've sorted out a banner for the Viking Jarl that we painted last week. So hopefully we get both done, but I'm going to focus on these first. Again, we're using mainly army painted paints. Do the other ribbon the same. Now it's dried out, you can see that flesh tone we used over the top. It's dried and dulled it all off nicely. Which is good. Yeah, hopefully the pup will settle down after he's demolished that tree. At least he's not a squeaky mess anymore. Sounds like a large slavering troll behind me. It's one of my favourite things. I think I've mentioned on it before. With playing D&D in the early days, and one of the, I think it's an AD&D module. I can't remember which one off the top of my head. It's a description of the room is brilliant. It's my favourite description. You go into the room, there's tables and chairs scattered all around the room. You see a bookcase with old tattered books, etc, 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 and a small gem underneath the table, and in the corner a large slavering troll. Now, I don't know about you, but the room I've just described, I probably would have seen the troll first. Maybe. Who knows? Okay. This is one of those colours that don't get used very often, so it's got to give it a good shake. It's Elemental Bolt. It's quite bright. So. And we'll pick these darker greens. I mean, we're going to dull all this off anyway, so it might look quite bright at the moment. Let's just fill our little pot of medium up. That's just the matte medium. From the army paints work better with just a little bit of medium in them. Or if not got medium, a little bit of water. It just seems to make them flow better. Yeah. So again, these were all painted last night mainly. I think I spent 2 hours last night, maybe an hour this morning just to push them along a bit. Just to make sure we get the shield painting and stuff on camera. I usually miss off, you know. I usually think, oh, I'll finish them in the morning, and no one sees me do the freehand work. Bit of a slip there. Let's take that green off his hand. There we go. Yeah. Got to knuckle down and start doing some more kind of tutorial ones and just ordinary videos rather than. I looked on my channel today, it's like all live. So I've got a list of videos I've promised to make people. I've done the blue on him. Feeling the red on this guy. Use the abomination. Use some colours that are on the palette from last night. Might just be a little bit watery. That's okay, because we're using this as the base layer anyway. So you want it sitting in the recesses, so it being thin is kind of cool. Hopefully the chew's not going to last too much longer and you don't know that chomping in your ears, guys. Hope no one's wearing headphones. Just lay that red down there. A bit over the. There we go. And the blue ones, we'll just rich that nice and red. Let's use we'll use a light blue. We could put a white round there, couldn't we? Just pop a beard of white on the palette. Using my little wet palette. Just ordinary matte white, this one. Just Just run it around there. Anyone use these guys in Saga? I certainly haven't yet. Maybe if you're watching this back, let us know in the comments how you got on with them, what they were good at. They're a mercenary unit that you can use in any of the Edge of Evasions, I think. Except obviously the Romans, because that would be a bit silly. Okay. Let me just drop the white on this guy as well. Which is cool. Evening, Rich. Rock Muncher. Yeah. Have a go at anything. We've done some the Saga Age of Magic fantasy ones, like the Draugr and Durgar and stuff like that. Yeah, but I'm always painting fantasy stuff. We can. What sort of stuff would you like to see? The dog doesn't make too much noise. What sort of stuff do you like? What do you play? There's many questions there. Yeah. What was it? What colour I'm looking for? That's a grey one. There was a. That's what I was looking for. Mummy's robes. Ah, nice. Yeah, I got a lot of the Grenadier Barbarians, the Mark Copplestone sculpted ones. I think they were my favourite miniatures for a long, long time. I've got loads of them up on the shelf there. Got some Goblin Riders kicking around. Yeah, for sure we can. Certainly accommodate some stuff like that. When I got given a really old collection from a friend, and that's got all the old Ralph stuff in it. I certainly don't mind doing a paint along with some of the painting some old school fancy stuff. Yeah, the war mammoth's good as well, isn't it? I always like the undead war mammoth. I picked up. Actually got given my original one back the other day, which was nice. In bits and pieces and what have you. Yeah, but for sure those barbarians. There's a couple of places that actually still sell them. Is it Merliton? There's another one. There's two of them. I see the one that shows quite often. Yeah, the rhino. There's also an undead giant as well, isn't there? Actually, no, there's a couple. Might be a couple for sale. Of the undead mammoth. It's another company that do a really nice mammoth. Is oh god, names. Westwind Games do a really nice one. I've got the original Barbarian Giants, you know, the 3 that come in the box set. They're like the Hill Giants. I've got those. Let's see if they're handy. And wave them at you in front of the camera. There's one of them. Bit dusty. Excuse the dust. Those ones. They're brilliant, aren't they? And then I got all the Rampartha Giants as well. Got given these fellas. Well, that's the Furbolg, isn't it? That one. Is it Fur? No. Oh God, my brain's gone to mush this evening. I'm afraid. Sorry. They're all up there. So it's around the room. I've got like shelf after shelf of fancy stuff. So yeah, as you can tell, I do like the old school stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the new miniatures out there are really, for details and stuff that look cool when they're painted. There's some really, really groovy stuff, but I don't know, the old one just seems to have that character. That's why I like these. That's why I picked these particular miniatures up from the range, these deserters, because they've got that character about them, which I think is cool. Let's give him a red neckerchief thing. Let's use a different red. Let's put some pure. Start using some pure red as well. picked up the wrong image then. Yeah, so the ones I got given, they were pretty much all the Grenadier and Ralph for Giant range. So I had a big session of painting them all, which was quite cool. Okay, so they've had the base colour of Abomination Gore red, and they've had a red wash over them, so now we're going to start highlighting them out. So I'm using some pure red, just watered down a little bit. I'm just going to pick out the areas that are higher and leave the recessed or the areas that are got a shadow on them. I'm using the medium just to thin the red down so it's almost see-through. So these darker areas already will naturally show through, but we're giving them a hand as well. I think I've got my camera zoomed in a bit more than I usually do. Remember not to move the miniature towards the camera. So as you do that, so people can see, but obviously. Catching the high areas, as you see it's picked up already. Again. I'm painting like from the top of those circles and a crescent-y moon sort of shape. When you're going around these, I've found if you kind of don't make it a complete, leave a bit sort of miss, and then it looks more highlighty, if you know what I mean. So we just drag, lift the brush off. Bit around the top there. We're not going around the back. Yeah, the light's a bit strange in it, so like the look on the screen, the colours look really picking the light out. Let's just work those reds first. Got no red on him. Just checking because the some of them I put like a red twos on. So he's gonna have a little dot there. We can leave the edge that's covered by the chainmail. Okay. So that's where that over watered red just sank into the groove. It left us with that upper edge to highlight, which is nice. I've checked him. So he's got red twos on. So put a bit across his knee. Got that edge might catch the light a little bit. The cloth doesn't so much catch the light, it's just in lighter areas, isn't it? Not shiny. Again, he's done his neckerchief in red, and he's also got red trews on. Any red on him? He's got red on you. Great line. And we're just picking the higher areas. So that's a raised area. That's a raised area. The paint's pretty thin, so we can always go back in for more highlight if we need to. Hopefully the dog finished that chew. He's actually finished the chew. He's now eating his teddy bear. You're being a monster tonight. Sorry about that, chaps. The dog has been a rat bag. He'll probably kick off now, so we'll end up having to send him downstairs. So stopped him being naughty. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? Right, so once he stops breaking my concentration, okay, so that's the first. Now let's go through these reds again. I'm going to water it down again with the medium. So now we're going inside of those highlighted areas just to strengthen a few up. You'll be able to see now on the camera where it's putting the paints. It's obviously the wet areas. I don't want to go outside any of these. Highlights already hit. There we go. There we go. So on to the next one. Well, we're working with quite thin paint. Work quite fast and move on to the next one. Just hitting the edge of that, sort of like an edge highlight it. A little bit on those trues because they're quite in the shadow anyway. Be enough for those. Again, thin that red. Staying inside the areas we've already done, but making it smaller. Okay. Again, just put those areas you've already hit before. So again, hitting just the bottom edge of that, these circles. I've probably got a very technical name. Yeah, Rockman. If you find us on Facebook and go back through the page, there's plenty of, or Twitter, sorry, X. You find us on there, and if you scroll back down, there's I pretty much put pictures of everything I paint up, so it's just a big sort of. And you'll find some of the older school fancy stuff I've painted. It's quite nice painting old miniatures with newer paints and techniques. I mean, this is one of my paint jobs from back in the day, and that was a brand new miniature off the shelf, and I managed to find that in the collection. So yeah. So, 1988 Ralpartha. So yeah, the paint job lasted all right. Evening, Frank. How are you? Good to see you. Nice to see ya. To see ya. So let's finish that red off. Oh, good, good. I did a little bit of work this morning on them before I popped out to move them on, so we get onto the interesting stuff later. So we're just going to hit these Mars red to highlight these reds right up. Let's start this end. So just filling that Mars red, and now I'm just going to hit the very highest areas with this. Small, any edges that will catch the sun. There you go. This is sort of thing I don't usually get time for in one video. Using all these extra bits and pieces, so it's a case of the videos are generally designed just to get miniatures on the table to a decent enough standard, so we're happy with them. Sometimes you want to give them a little bit more juice. I think this is a nice little set, so I felt they deserved having a little bit more work on them. Oh, nice. Wow. Lots of buttons. Bonjour. How many of those you got to paint, Frank? And that's the sort of thing with those, is you need a lot. Again, just running this ready orange on the only the highest areas. Yeah, that's the start of it, isn't it? Or is that the end of it? it does become never ending. That it's a big rabbit hole to jump into, that one, isn't it? Well, it's a bit like I did a commission on some Napoleonics, and he wanted 15mm, and you think, ah, yeah, just bung the 50mm out. But the miniature's so much better nowadays that you can't get away with just blasting through them. There's so much on there you can actually paint. I think I prefer 10mm in fairness, because they've almost got the detail of the 15s. A lot have, but they've got that cutesy wootsy of the I think that's the technical word, of the 6mm. So I think you get the best of both worlds there. But it's for sure you I think I paint more than I play now. Definitely had a game of Dead Man's Hand the other night, but I've definitely got more paint stuff around than we play. Okay, sort his cloak out as well. I'm gonna go for, there's a nice Vallejo paint, Flat Earth. I like that one. Do you do the bigger scales as well, Frank? Do you go into the 50s and 70s? Is there a limit to your scaling? Nice. Do you find the bigger scales you tend to is it hard to know when to stop? Is it something you learn with the smaller scales, isn't it? You look at something, yep, that's done. Otherwise you keep going down and down and down that hole. Is that more of a danger of the bigger scales, do you think? That's what I was worried about. Somebody would ask me to paint some bigger stuff. I thought, right. So you get to a kind of point, don't you, where there's no real return on your time, isn't there? And you kind of just messing about. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's hard to. Well, I think it's hard to stop. So yeah. That's pretty good. I think there we go. Nice, that's good. He's not too bad, he's just chewing his bone at the moment. I'll bang on the floor if he... This is my better half, seeing if he needed rescuing from the the crazy pup. But he seems to have found something quiet to chew, which is good. Let's put some, got some matte white going on there. We'll just drop that onto the back of the that's all set up. Then we can either stick with the white goose feathers or even paint them red. What I do in a sec, we'll go for, once we've done that with the arrows, we go back in with the white and do the eyeballs. I did think, I was looking at some of these earlier, and it's like, I know it's not, it was actually the arrows that thought, this is going out to you, kind of rock muncher, is I thought the arrows, they reminded me of the arrows on the cobblestone barbarians lit. Do you know what I mean? I'm just checking to see if we need any white on anything else before we do the eyeballs. Nope. So we're going over to the Psycho brush. Put a bit of medium on it. Load up your white. Grab our first eyeball contestant. There we go. So just locking everything off with our hands. You can see us on camera. Just bop. Slightly messed up eye in there. Someone's sculpt absolutely perfect. Okay. Yeah, it's a groovy little set, this. I really like these. It's last night. These desserts, I believe, are 15 quid for the 8 of them from Gripping Beast. Yeah, I mean, I've done it for sort of some of the fantasy D&D miniatures. But when you're doing like 30 bows, it's literally just the time to reward. Some of the my friend's company, Athena Miniatures, actually sculpt theirs with the bow strings on, like War of the Roses stuff. War of the Roses, yeah. Or 100 Years, or one of the two. My brain tonight, I tell you. Sieve. Yeah, but he's worth checking out. These archers have bows with I always do it for like the bigger, like if you're doing like a trebuchet or a Scorpio or something like that. But most of the sculpts have that on them anyway. Or if you're doing stuff like chariots, putting the reins on, but you're only doing like very few. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to black, and we're going to go back and dot these. There we go. Find the trick with putting these in is I kind of let the brush naturally fall on the first eye. I never try and paint center because they look like fried eggs, and you can make them look very cross-eyed or boss-eyed very easily. So what I tend to do is do one eye just off of center and then match the second eye up. But don't try and get them dead center. No good will come of it. He's got a great face, look at him. Very determined, that guy. He was friends with Woderick. Woderick was released. Release him. Release Woderick. You can't help yourself, can you, when there's Romans about? So now I've caught that inside of the eye. I now can go to the left side of this eye, and he looks like he's looking that way. Otherwise, you kind of end up fiddling around with him, and once you start fiddling around, no good will come of it. Right, let's sort my eye out. Busy weekend, this one. So let's go back for this green. So let's go to that green next. So that's angel green. So next I'm going to go with commando green, and that's quite a big jump in tones there, but we're going to thin this one out Help it blend a bit. I do like this one as a highlight. So grab some of our medium. And start highlighting this bad boy out, as you can see, because it's quite, again, I thinned it a lot. A bit too much paint there, so let's use that to spread about a bit. After all, if you put too much of this colour on, you can always grab the tone and give it another wash to just take the tone down. Again, just trying to catch those higher areas, leaving that darker green just to sit in the recesses. There we go. And I think this one was the more commando or elf green, so it's a little toned down, but we're still going to use the same highlight. It's thinned anyway, so. I think the dog's given up and gone to sleep. He'll probably start snoring in a minute. Yep. Just hitting the edges, all those kind of ruffled up bits. There we go. And I'll come back to the other green. Same colour, that commando green again, and we're just going to hit those areas we've already done. But we're going to come inside. So the highlight starts to get stronger. We're still leaving that darker green in the recess. Okay. Just kraken skin. I'm just going to highlight this guy's light bits, if you know what I mean. Just going to catch the top of those. Just wore it down just a little bit more. That's better. Let's wore that down in situ. And we just want to go a little bit round, leaving breaks in our highlighting. There we go. Really just strengthen that out a bit. Perfect. Next, I'm going to grab our base flesh colour, which was barbarian flesh. Now, last night we did the barbarian flesh, and then we used the speed paint. I believe it was crusader flesh as a wash. It's given us that look. Now we're going to go back and we're going to highlight with the base tone. So we're going to hit like the bridge of the nose, cheekbones, his top lips quite, and his bottom lips quite prevalent there. His hands will be holding a shield, but as ever we're going to make sure they're painted. There you go, because why wouldn't you? Even with doing a shield to it, we know it's painted. I'm just picking out the edges of those fingers, just upwards towards the light source. Just checking a little bit on the neck. The neck looks a bit grey, so we're going to just put a couple of highlights in there. Just make it look cooler. Load up again. Just nose, top of the cheekbone, lips, chin. And this guy. And there's also doing back of that hand, the edge of his fingers. They're not all of it because you want to leave some of that dark to contrast it. The thumb. Okay, right on the edge of the fingers. Then leave a gap, then on his knuckles. Okay. Hello, go for it. How are we doing tonight? Noses, I'm highlighting with flesh. So nose, cheekbones, bottom lip there, top of those knuckles. So we know the shield's going on there, but we're still going to highlight out. End of the fingers, and then we'll do the knuckles, the back of his hand a little bit. There we go. So the bridge of his nose. Being Romans, they got a good area to paint on the noses. The ears there. From the knuckles down the back of his hand, leaving some of the shade in there. There we go. You can get a bit on his forehead there, just above his eyebrow, cheekbone, chin, ear, bottom of his jawbone might catch a little bit, over ear. There we go. Anywhere you think will make it look cool, go with the rule of cool. Let's put his thumb there. That's good. Drop it behind his ears. Chair is that? There we go. So next one, load up with flesh colour. Nose. There's a lot of paint on there, let's take some off. Cheekbones, upper lip, bottom lip, top of the edge of the hand, knuckles. It says even behind his shield, it doesn't matter. It's good practice to do it. Okay. Hit the top of the nose there, bit in there with his mouth, his cheekbones, edge of the ears, just picking up the raised areas. That's the whole idea when we Xenophore undercoat is it's getting you in that mindset of where the light's catching these guys. Just his ears poking out of the helm there. Just cool. That's that bit done. Hour and 10 minutes in, not bad. So these are about 3.5, maybe, yeah, about that sort of time work on them. I do like this green as the top highlight, Witch Brew. It's got a lot of yellow in it. It's a bit radioactive, so you have to go quite careful with it. I'm gonna drag a bit of medium in there, thin it about, and we're just gonna go and hit the highest of our highlights there. Less is definitely more when you're hitting a big hit of colour like this one. we're just hitting along those already highlighted areas. Not too much of it though. That's too much. So. There we go. A bit on the back. Let's put a bit more medium on the palette. So I'm using a wet palette anyway, but feed the medium into the paintbrush by brush. There we go. Moving around. Working those highest of highs. And that's fine. Get the other green dude. That's why I use that Commando green second, because it matches in with this one really well. There's something that looks quite good with their new paint range. They're doing triads, but they're doing like a double triad, so they're doing a 6. So you can pick your favourite ones. Which is kind of cool. Just keep that medium going in there. That's what I'm interested to see, whether the coverage looks better on the new ones. But I've heard mixed reports about how they thin down, so we shall see. Right, let's work some of this blues. We've not done these blues yet. We've done the ultramarine we used, so we're going to go up to, let's go up to crystal blue. Yes, I saw them this morning actually. They do look very, very nice. And I am a bit partial to painting a hoplite or two. I do find for my Victrix miniatures, this is where I stand in them. I think they're very pretty miniatures and I like them a lot. And if I only had my problem is when they're alongside other miniatures. So they're a bit big, which is weird because they're not. What's the best way to put it? Because I'm talking gobbledygook now. They look big, and then you put them next to other miniatures, they're not. They just, where the poses there are, I'm not going to go there. I can't explain what I mean, but I do like them, and those hoplites do look really good. So we just thin this blue down. I'm just not sure they mix well with other miniatures, if you know what I mean. If I had a hoplite army and they were all Victrix, that's cool. But then when you put them on the table against something that's not all Victrix, it looks kind of weird. That's what I mean. Yes, Frank, thank you for putting me out of my misery there, mate. Bonjour, Kay. So I'm just thinning that paint. Building up those highlights with a half decent pointy brush. Look at the point on that, Karen. How's that for you? I suppose it's better than what I'm usually daubing the paint on. It's still one of these expensive brushes though. Oh, I'm not sure if that's what it said. I've probably ordered some strange food or something. So yeah, just thinning this blue right out, hitting those high edges, trying to keep it off the hand that we've just highlighted. There you go. Keep that medium flowing in that blue. So yeah, same again with this blue. I'm just going to hit the highest edges. Okay. And these ones, we're not going to use this blue on these ones because we've already highlighted that blue out. We've done the red. So they're pretty much sorted as a basic stuff. Same as them because we've already done the red. And he's done. So now we're just going to do his neckerchief. Trying to hit those highest areas. And then we're going to go, it was crystal blue last time, so we're going to go up to void shield because everyone knows the Romans had void shields. Well, it's a little known fact actually that they had void shields and they had discovered warp drives, etc. And very good concrete. One of those facts is true. So that void shield, we're watering it right down. Just finding some nice little highlights to hit with it. It's got a lot of white in this one, so yeah. That's quite quite correct, Rich. Thank you. I know I've always got Richard's got my back. Yeah. Even when I'm talking absolute driv. Thank you, mate. Yeah, so next time you're wargaming and somebody's right, just say, taking them out, saying, all right, I'll just roll to see if it gets through my void shields. And you can say, well, I heard on Pirate Rich Paints they actually had void shields. And very good concrete. Yeah, so I did catch that on the news. Well, I can't remember where it was. I was reading something somewhere that they reckon they've almost worked out now what the how the Romans did the concrete. It's something to do with how waterproof it is, isn't it? I don't know. A concrete expert is going to pull me up on this now. I shouldn't have opened that can of worms. I should have stuck to my void shield comment. Oh well. They've got a problem, they can come round my house. What are you going to do? Come around here and throw marshmallows at my house? Whatever. Yes, so in the comments, oh, we've not done a. Let's see if I can remember how to do it. Hang on a sec, bear with me, chaps. We're going to have a poll, guys. You ready for this? Are you ready? You'll have to excuse if there's any typos in it. You ready? We're going to start the poll. Thank you, Rich. Oh, you can rely on Pirate Rich Paints to hit all the important historical facts. And this guy is done as well. So what we're doing now, before we start doing any fancy pants stuff, we're going to get some light tone. Quite sepia kind of tone like this. I'm going to put a brush full of medium. I'm just going to start working around these guys. Anywhere really where I want it to be a bit. So it's really good on the elven flesh tabards we've made. You can keep it off for the red though. I want to put a bit round some of the fleshy areas. There's recesses. It's good stuff, this light tone. Just pick a bit more medium up into it. Help it flow. A little bit into some of the areas on the armour, just to start mucking it up. Just do a couple of dots on there. Just makes it look a bit grimy, a bit. There we go. Put his boot there. Because at the moment the paint job's very clean. How's the poll going? Oh, 50-50. Alright, the elven flesh highlight. What I did with the elven flesh tabards is I've done a thin coat and then a slightly thicker coat, so it's actually just a solid coat of the elven flesh, and I'm just using the light tone just to bring back the shading on it. Just a little bit of medium. There we go. So if you watch this guy, so it's actually a flat layer of it. Then I'm just running this because it's quite, I say it's quite a yellowy. The light tone's sepia based brown. That's cool, mate. I'm here to serve. So you don't want big pools. Sometimes you use the wash and you want big pools of it about, but this one we want it to just sit off of those top ridges, you know what I mean? There's a little tiny bit of red in this crappy brush that I'm using, so I ditch that crappy brush. Yeah, good shout. There's a, oh, that one will do. Let's grab this army painter one. There was just a little bit of red drifting into that mix. Not sure if you can see that on the camera. Where we did that light brown cloak, just go straight over the top of it. That brown is Vallejo Flat Earth, which is another guilty pleasure. I like that one. There we go. So now a bit around that binding, keeping that on there. And just knock a bit onto the woody area. I'm gonna drop a bit on his boots. Put that scabbard. Just work your way around, and I'm gonna sort of do the edge of the face. Just to frame it out, really. Just get that on those arrows. Make sure it just sits in the grooves. Gently wipe it away from the top bit. I'll just hit the edge of this hand on there. On his feet. It really is the lightest of tones. This one is. That's why you can pretty much work around the miniature. I'll show you how light it is. I'll put some on this white, and you can see how. See, it's just lighter than that, a bit lighter than that. They do soft tone as well, which is pretty good. But this is just a little bit more subtle. A bit on his armour there. Start the grot. So we're nearly onto all the fun bits next. Don't want too much on that white because it's showing the yellow of the sepia. So if you've done it all on that white, it just go yellow. So we'll make it look a bit dirty at the bottom, shall we? Okay. So we won't go all the way up with it. Maybe just get some medium. Go heavy at the bottom. That's how we can make a muddy kind of look to it. So we're going to go use that medium at the bottom. Grab a brush full of medium and start at the top of that, just pulling it up the channels, and it will run back down, so don't panic. I'm going to hit just a few areas with some very watered down. So you can put it on with a little bit much, just get a bit of medium and wash it back into the grooves. And if it's too much there, just wick it away with your brush. I've not said wick it away for ages. I used to say it all the time. I'm just gonna hit all the brown area. Not too worried if a little bit goes astray with this because it's very soft. It will make it, wherever it lands on, look a little bit dirty. Yep. Just hit those trues, make them look nice and dirty. I'm going to edge his face and mouth with that. Get a bit going in his beard. What a magnificent beard this one's got. And just do a little dot on there, not all over it. A couple of dots on his armour. Does a concrete overcoat negate a void shield though? Only time will tell. Only our Okay, so what we'll do now is, once we got a chance, I'm going to use flat earth just to paint these darts in, because I used our Vallejo to do the back of the shields. So we need a different brown. I want these nice and dry for when we do the shields in a minute. I like the way they've put these darts on the back of the shield. That's cool, isn't it? I know Rich was very impressed by that, weren't you, mate? I can't argue with you, Kane. Yeah, but Void Shield, they blue glowy. And you could have them personalised, Karen. You could have a purple version. You could have a purple Void Shield. Although I suppose you could have a purple concrete overcoat as well if you put some purple paint in it. Who can tell? Yeah. Yeah. That's what they said when they were building like the M25, wasn't it? Every little area's got its own tale of who's in which bridge support. We got what you meant. We're not going to be typo police. Otherwise, I'd be in big trouble. I wonder if the Romans did invent putting people in concrete. They must have, mustn't they? Surely, if you invent something like concrete, did they invent it or just perfect it? It's probably all the pillars. They're in London. Do we know, Rich? Did they invent concrete? Did they pinch concrete? And did they pinch it and run with it, or make a slow getaway with it? Mm. What did the Romans do for us? Did they invent stuff, or did they just pull most of it together from their empire? Mm. Not that I'm mad about anything. Not that I'm got beef with Rome or anything. Here we go. Thank you, Professor Rich. Mm. Wow. Underground systems in 3,000 BC. Really? That's incredible. They must have, mustn't they? See, you're all a bit rash jumping on the void shield now, aren't you? Huh? Although we did, it does say the question is which was a bigger achievement. Well, I suppose there's an achievement in the fact that they made really, really good concrete. just get a nice. This is what I grabbed here. I grabbed anything Doomball Brown from Citadel. I thought we just want a ready leathery colour, just so it shows up on the back here nice. Before I've done these and I've glued them on the wrong way up, so you're thinking, well, how the dart's not falling. So I will attempt to remember that when I paint them one side and glue them the other. So where will the conversation go next? Yeah. It does feel a little bit like they're working off somebody else's back, aren't they? Really, they're claiming a win there, aren't they? What did they claim? In fairness, love them or hate them, they did quite a bit of stuff, didn't they? That might have been the biggest understatement ever. They did quite a bit of stuff, didn't they? You can quote me on that. No, I'm not going there. I did think of something else I was going to say, but I'm not going there. Right, so gunmetal time. I'm just going to do the heads of those darts. Yeah, these are neat. This I do keep saying it. Did they have like a early version of the concrete lorries that spin around? There's horse-drawn versions of it. With some poor slaves in it sloshing about in it, making it spin. I'm now trying to turn the Roman Empire into the Flintstones, aren't I, really? And I should, out of respect, just stop. I have the slowest chariot in all of Rome and the strongest horses. Throw him in the arena with the lions and give him these concrete boots. hope tonight is it amusing people. It's amusing me anyway. Yeah. I bet the music they play is quite heavy. That's where everyone suddenly leaves with a bad joke like that. Okay, so that's them done. So let's have a look at what we're doing next. I think we shall get some rust going. I think I've got this little rust red stuff. I can't remember the name of the what's the name of the make of them? Oh god, I can't remember. Sorry, the dogs. I think these are revel stuff. It's rust. It's little powdery stuff. Pigment. Do. I usually put a bit of medium. Get a good job of it in there. Just enough to stick to my brush. And then that's just from the wet of the medium. They're quite heavy with the rest, I think. What I do sometimes, I put this on and then Satan's trampoline. Awesome. What you can do is put a bit more medium on your brush, make it a bit more watery at certain areas, and just so it runs in. That's which one is dots in a little rest. I think he's sufficiently rusty, I think. Or you can wet the miniature with the medium and then put some on there. Just put a few dots on, randomly mank it up a bit. On these helms, if you put a little dot on like that and wash your brush out and get some medium, you just run it round creases of the lid. And when it dries out, you're left with a little bit. Well, they're not zombies or anything, so we don't have to go crazy mad. But it's nice to have them looking a little bit different in it. Yeah, a little bit of rust in there. I don't know why they got rusty weapons. I have no idea. Oh, it's a deserter. His weapon's gone rusty. I don't know really how that works, but hey, it looks cool. I like putting rust on stuff, so we go with that. Let's get some more of that. So I put a bit of powder on there. Show you a different, and a bit of medium. You can run it about a little bit, and get a bit more powder. You can kind of build it up, and it will come off when it's dry a little bit, when it's powdery. But because we're gonna lacquer these, so it don't really matter. And if you haven't got that powdery stuff, if you get something like an oak brown or something like that, and really water it down, you can do the same, almost the same kind of effect. Okay, we're just gonna get a bit more and all. Now we've made it very watery, so we can run it into the recesses of that lid. Okay. Must have deserted in England, and all their metal got wet and rusty, so because of our lovely liquid rain. Okay. I'll go back to the first one in a second so you can see how it's drying out. Mm-hmm. So let's go back to our first guy so we can have a look at the rest, how the rest is settling into his chainmail. So if we want to put any more in there, maybe just a little bit more, shall we? You can hit the same areas again, just start, build it all up. More on the the lid there. There we go. Well, that's quite enough of that behaviour. You see how we run that was where we watered it down and run it into the grooves. Nice. 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 Verdigris. That's a good word, isn't it? Verdigris. So you got this stuff from 30 down, which is really good. Their rust is really good as well, but you need to put it on after the lacquer, and it can reactivate. But some of the verdigris, you've got the Games Workshop one, nickel oxide, which is already watered down. Cheers, Rich. Frank, sorry. Yeah, cheers for dropping in, mate. So you can use the nickel oxide, or if you get a paint that's a very similar colour, or even just a tone up from it, maybe, depending on your taste. Not that we're going to drink it. Let's use the army painter. So I'll show you. So it's a technical paint, nickel oxide. But if you put a bit, let's put it in here so you can see what we're doing. So just put a drop or two in there. And then put a drop of medium in there, maybe two. See how runny that's gone. You want it so it's kind of sit like that, so it's see-through. Yeah. And then we're looking for, because this does it on like bronze, that sort of metals. So let's clear our brush out, fill it with medium, dip it into your mixture. So quite a brush full. And then we're just going to do a bit of dotting. It's anywhere, this is anywhere where it's got wet and it always runs down. So start at the edge and pull it down a little bit along the creases of the helm there. But not everywhere, you don't want it everywhere, just little dots of it. This is water damage. There we go. So just a couple of dots. And just move it around with your brush. This I thought would have probably been more regular to see than the rest, in fairness. But I don't know. All that watery loveliness around the edge there. So go in the bottom corners, look, we're going to leave the top edge because the water's been running down. This guy is in a bit of a state. Put on his belt. These guys have been sleeping rough. That's how that light tone goes on the top there. You see, it's give us a nice little bit of dirt. Around the edge there, it's very watery. Down there is more painty, so we just keep pulling it out of there, so we can always put a bit more paint on there. So there we go. Just use it around the edges. think about where the water's gonna pool up and just to be honest, because we've watered it down, it will naturally fall there anyway, really. We just got to guide it a little bit, give it a little bit of a helping hand. So on the scale mill, this is going to be quite a tricky one because you don't want to go too mad. So just doing round the edges. Occasional dot. And put a bit down, a couple of splotches. Then we're just going to do a little bit. That's been dripping down his mail. So maybe put it right in there. Okay. He's not got any. He's got a bit on his belt. Running into his chainmail a bit. Oh, these guys are a right mess. I just played the start of Land Down Under by Men at Work. Yes! Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike against me. Okay. It's been one of those tonight, for sure. So what we do now, we don't, no we don't, not yet. Let's have a look at our paint guide. So I was looking at these little fancy bits around the bottoms of their tabards and stuff. So let's do some of those. Let's pick some of these we can use white for. And start. Oh, the dog's really over it now. It's a nice little star shape. Instead of dots, should we do, let's have zigzags, shall we? That look cool. Just keep zigzagging till we get all the way around. There we go. And then around his cuffs, we'll just do a nice white stripe all the way around. There we go. So he's kind of ready for his shield. Well, actually, he won't be because he's a archer. Okay, so let's pick up some white. Well, let's show you some of the other brushes I found. You'll like these. These are, if you look on Amazon and have a look at nail art brushes, these things are really cool. Look at these. These are really good for pulling lines and stuff like that. So load up with medium. Okay. Just going to pull some lines. Look. There's all different sizes. But they're really, because they've got the longer bristles, you can kind of pull nice lines with them. It's well worth going on Amazon and I think this set was about £6, and there's about 6 different size brushes. Some of them are slightly big, but they come in handy when doing some buildings or something. But when I did a bit of sign writing, you want these big, flexible, long brushes. So let's have a look how we get on with the. See? Okay, quite simple. There we go. That seems to be lasting quite well, really. I've only been using them when I've been doing stuff like this. So not bad. Let's do some dots with them, see how that works out. Not so great on dots. I don't know, they're alright. The trick with dots is you've got to have quite a bit of paint loaded into your brush. There we go. Just keep laying down some dots for me. So it is, I like doing it. If you go back, oh, it's a bit of a heavy dot, that one. What we do there is we wash the brush out. It's still wet, and we wet that bit out. And we wick that away. There we go. Bit of a repair there. That's good. Or you could have let it dry and paint over with blue. One of the two. I get a bit impatient, so waiting and paint over with blue is a bit of a, I get a bit itchy waiting for it. There we go. And we go round. Let's go with the edge by his hand so we know which one we're doing. We've done both, really, I suppose. I'm just want to get onto these shields. Okay. Looking kind of fancy. Let's try a cross with dots this time, shall we? Why not? So we go across. Load up with paint. Could have done those different colours. That would have been cool. Can we just do it now? We won't do it around the edges because that looks cool like that. Let's use our verdigris colour. It's already thinned down a bit. We'll just do. Don't think it's strong enough actually. Just throw a nice dot in the middle of those. And we do a smaller dot around the edge. Sorry, I was off screen a bit now, aren't I? Sorry, guys. There we go. And we're going to go around. Let's go around the top edge. Well, let's just wipe that off. Let's leave it like that, actually. Let's do him a nice dot. Match up with his mate. This was nice white, so we're going to get some red, I think. Run that around the edge. let's run. This is where these brushes come into their own on these, see that groove. Kind of like sign writing brushes, but tiny ones. It's too exciting for the dog. There we go. So he's got the same tab on, so we're going to do red dot. Let's do some little lines going out. There we go. Okay. And then he had it around the front of his hand. A bit more medium. We're going to run it round that bottom groove. It just seems to want to sit in there. The only thing found with these longer bristles is the paint does dry them quite quick, so you can't hold a lot of paint in there. But painted some shields with this short one, they're quite cool. Okay, so that's the minis done. So next let's have a look at these shields. Now, as you saw, I've painted the back. I'm going to stick them onto our corks. Let's grab some out. 2, 4. Obviously, there's only 6 shields because we've got 2 archers. Let me just have a sweetie to keep going. Now, sticking them on the blue tack, usually what I do is put some just paint on lacquer on the back, just to make sure the paint doesn't get pulled off by the blue tack. But we've not got time for that, so I'm gonna have to retouch them in. I think the trick is let them so they're on there, but don't ram them right in, if you know what I mean. Usually I'll warm the blue tack up and get it really sticky, but I found if you don't, you get away with it. But we're probably going to have to touch a bit of the back in once they're glued on, so it's not too much of an issue. As I said, if you've got more time, just put a bit of drop of lacquer on the back. Right, first things first, we want to put some white on these guys because we're gonna straight away I'll pull off camera. That's going to be the hardest thing to do here, is paint these shields on camera. So I've thinned that white right out. We're not looking for perfect coverage at the moment, we're just looking for a nice thin smooth layer. A bit of medium in there. See it nicely thinned. Just catching the edge. We don't want too much going around the edge because it will kind of go around the corner onto the back of the shield. Okay. Let's just keep layering it up. Okay. Yeah, so next, I was looking at the numbers on YouTube, and I noticed that, probably Karen's noticed as well, you get a lot of people watching on like a replay kind of thing, which is cool. But they're not all subscribed. Now, this is a please, 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 if you're watching this back on replay and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It does help the channels. Again, if you're watching Kits with Karen, don't forget to subscribe to Karen's channel too. Anyone else that watches the channel, because it really does help us out, you know. It lets YouTube know we're there, so we come up on people's like to watch next list and stuff like that. Thank you. Pleading grovelly bit over with. Thought I'd say that while I was painting, while we were watching paint dry. There we go. Just pretty good coverage. This army paint. Can't wait to try the new stuff. Let's go back to that first one. You can see that's pretty dry. We're thinning that white down again. Just want a nice flat white to paint on. Again, this is where I said they do Griffin Beasts have got a set of transfers by Little Big Men, special ones for these guys, and they are cracking little transfers. I haven't got any. Hence, I'm painting the shields. I have got some of his transfers to hand, as I'm going to use them kind of as painting guides. So please forgive me, little big man. Shield design. I do accept your transfers are the best. I think they are. I think they're cracking. They go on really well. But I have done a video how to use them, so in fairness, I must have cut myself some slack with him. Dog ears sound asleep now. Right, so I think that's a solid enough layer. I'll just check. They're really clear. The white really glows in the under the lamp, doesn't it? I'll have to see how this section. Yeah, that's fine. So now we'll have a look, see if that metallic is dried out yet. Yeah, it's all right. It does seem to take a long time to dry out the gunmetal. So start by painting the bosses in. That white's still drying a little bit. That's what, sometimes when I paint a lot of shields, it's hair dryer time in between each layer. Let's see if we can get away without doing that, because it's noisy. I don't want to wake the pup out. His snoring sounds much better than the chewing that I was doing earlier. There we go. Where's let's do some computery stuff for a sec. Won't be a second. Excuse, please. There we go. So, first one, let's do a white still a bit. So let's do, before we do those, let's give the white a little bit more chance to set. Let's get our black and paint around the bottom of the bases, do something like that for a minute. I'll kick the dog so it doesn't snore so much. I'd kick the wife to stop her snoring. I wouldn't kick my dog. So, animal lovers, don't worry. I'm just taking this opportunity just to check see if there's anything else I want to do to the miniatures as well. And we've got the tufts to go on as well. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Everything's nicely dry. You see how that verdigris settled on the helmets now? Cool. And the rusty rust. That's some heavy rust, that is. It's good. There we go. That green, that's cracking. What a great mini. That one kind of reminds me of the old Citadel Perry Twins archers. Yeah, it does look like he needs to clean it up a bit, mate, doesn't it? That's for sure. I mean, look at the state of this one. I was watching one of Lindy Beige's videos, and he bought some Crusader chainmail that they'd found in a castle somewhere, and most of them they couldn't be rescued because they're just rusted into a big lump, and it couldn't be undone. And the one he's shown on the video was kind of slightly better, but still quite rusted in a lump. But one was completely usable, and he was actually wearing it. Check his videos out, they're really good. He's on the I would like to meet list. I'd just like to be in a room and chat, you know? He seems a really interesting dude. I think the dog's having a dream. We're going to be given a sound show now. Hear his feet tapping away as well. There we go. Let's have a look at these shields then. Yeah, the white lit's dry now. Come from a land down under. I like using, this is a Citadel with fist on red, but it's been thinned out with my medium. level. I tend to use this on shields and stuff because it dries really flat. It's very similar colour to pure red. So I happen to have some in a pot. A bit more medium in the lid. Okay. And let's do a round one in red as well. Yeah. I don't know how much problem rust was for Roman deserters, I don't know. It seems to be quite a problem. I shouldn't think it made their chainmail any more comfortable. There we go. I think that's as much red as we need for a moment. I bought a new chair and it's got this really weird back that one area of it creaks. I don't know why. Who knows? It could actually be me creaking, I suppose. Right, I'm going to go for that light blue. Let's go for void shield blue, actually. There we go. So void shield blue. So blue, void shield blue. I think you're right, Rich. And I suppose without the Centurion there to shout at your face, you're not even going to attempt to sort it. If those links start to lock up, it's going to be unwearable. We're going to have another one that colour. The problem is to get a nice base. Nice base. I was just saying. Nice base colours. Nice and smooth. There we go. And these we'll leave white for a moment. Let's have a look how our shields are. So first up, let's have a Let's do it with those nail brushes. So I'll show you how they work. That's a good one. So I'm going to trace out a shape. So I'm right in the corner of the screen there. It's always tricky to get freehand in the right place on the screen. So using the white there, it's still quite thin. There we go. And we do bring it around. About there. Match it this side. You have to excuse me if I drift on and off of the screen at this point. Do flash messages up at me if I do, because I will catch the messages out of the corner of my eye. Okay. So little mouthy. To here. I thicken that bit to the baseline. Just trying to match it into the other side. There we go. And do a little it's like a dragony. Oh, sorry. It's just so hard to keep eye on the shield. I'm having to use my peripheral to have a look at the picture I'm copying. It's over there on the screen, so we'll let that dry a sec. I'm using this the transfer sheets for these guys as kind of a bit of a guide. I'm going to change them slightly. Dog's impressed anyway. Then we're going to put some colours into them when they're dry. We have a similar design on this blue one. So these brushes are very good for pulling a nice straight line. There we go. If you're not sure, what you can do is say, right, okay, that's going to be my start. That's going to be where I'm aiming for. Okay, so do those dots, and just lay this brush and pull. There we go. And we'll look at it and say, yeah, that's cool. And we're gonna. It's all about being light with these, because obviously you don't want to wrap the brush up. Okay, this one's going to be a bit more whippy round, so it's going to start our points from there. Then a dot for where we're going to. So we've got some reference dots there, as you've seen me put down. So we want to go making that sound while you do it is optional. Get as close as you can. You're never going to get perfect, but you can kind of. We're going in with a different colour yet to straighten them up anyway, so that's not an issue. Let's make our blobby head. Again, remember these can be a different colour yet, so that's cool. I'm going to come round from this side now. And then does it kind of match in? When we start doing the colour, we can reshape them, get it nice and tight. I'm just laying these down for so the colours can work easier. Okay. This one. We'll mirror that other one. Yeah, really do have a look on Amazon for these brushes. They are really a lot cheaper than our brushes, and if you're using them just for stuff like this, you'll get some use out of them. There we go. Just straightened up a bit there, that's fine. Right. I'll add some, where'd it go? There you go. Add some reference stickers. A bit. They're a bit Byzantine tea ones, those ones. Let's have a look on here. I want to do one of the fancier pants ones. Oh, he's on a yellow background. Let's paint that one yellow. Let's wash that brush out. Where's his cap gone? Do, 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 do. Let's get the yellow out. Demonic yellow. We needed to anyway because we're going to use the yellow on the other shields in a sec. Bit of medium. We said lacquer then. So we'll paint our shields white first. So any colour we want to use works. Oh, blimey, what was that? It did that last time, didn't it? Oh, what was it? It was a notification from somebody or something or other. It scared the willies out of me there. Okay, so we're gonna. We don't need our ultra fine brush for this. Do we? Yeah, we can use that one. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? I put it back away. No, I didn't. It's over there. I'm losing it. It's almost time to stop. Shame, I was hoping to get all these shields finished, but and because we've gone over that white, that it looks much tighter. After all, we can, after this yellow, if it doesn't look quite right, you can go back in with red or I've also gone in with a darker yellow, like a corn. I can't remember. But what we're going to do is we're going to just do the one yellow, and then when it's all dry, we're going to put some brown wash over it. There we go. Just strengthen this crescent out. Just using a white as a guideline. There we go. I put t'other one in there. Again, we're going to turn this into a crescent. We can use that white as a guide. Okay. It's nearly dry. Next, we're going to lay down some red on there. Let's use the pure red that's on our palette. That'll be with the dog soon, I think. Okay. You could get the tones out here and do a slight wash over the colours. In fact, I might do that before I put the brown wash over. This is a bit where you can play around with the shape a bit. Blimey, 3 hours we've been on. Yeah, so as you see, these have about 5 hours, just over 5 hours of work on them, which is probably a little bit more than we usually give stuff. I just thought it'd be interesting for you guys to see some of the extra bits you can do, because usually we do the bare minimum on the paint-alongs to get them finished within the time limit. And this is what I was saying as well. Usually we get to a stage where it leaves you open to do this to your miniatures when we finish the video, if you know what I mean. As you can see, we can start putting these guys. Yeah, I thought I was going to get a little bit more forward earlier on them, but unfortunately I had a hockey match in Bath, so I was off gallivanting most of the day. Just lay that blue in there. Okay. So the shields are purposely bright at the moment, so we can tone them back a bit. But I'm afraid I'm running out of steam to finish the shields off on video. So I really am afraid that's going to be it for tonight. I can't push my eyes anymore because that's bad for your eyes when they're tired. When they say stop, I'm afraid you have to stop. So what I'll do, let's have a quick look at what we've got. Yeah, we've had a good 3-hour session there. So what I'll do in the morning is I'll finish those couple of shields off, shieldy bits. The actual miniatures are painted. So I'll finish the shield, get them photographed, get them up on Facebook and X, where I usually do. But yeah, I think they deserved a bit of an extra bit of work, these guys. Especially because they're goth killers, aren't they? Rich. Got to help my picks. Oh, I've got to paint his moustache. Best do that, hadn't I? So I'll leave him there to remind me to paint his moustache in the morning. Right, okay, well, thank you for joining me, guys. It's been a pleasure again. I've just run out of steam. I hope you guys are all right. Yeah, why not? Okay, well, thanks for joining me. If you're watching this on watch back, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and help our channel grow. Thanks as ever, Rich, for joining me, mate, and Karen, been a pleasure, and everyone else that's been in the background watching as well. Feel free next time maybe to jump into that chat room. And the survey says 60%. It was a bigger yeah, the void shields one, basically. All right, guys, well, I'm off now, and have a good rest of the weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks for joining me. Cheers, guys.